Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created magic and miracles for people of all walks of life all around the world to be able to achieve their manifestation, dreams, and goals. It's so important to achieve your goals and dreams. I keep talking about it, and it's not just a scripted intro. I literally mean this can become your life. This is your fairy tale by divine right, okay? I really want to instill this within you so that you remember I am the magician of my life. I can become the re-become, reinvent myself and re-become the magician of your life. And my purpose in life is to achieve my dreams and goals. That's the only way to go. So what I do in my coaching is really help individuals of all walks of life. I've been a coach for 10 years now to get to the higher timeline. And it always, 100% of the time, has to do with shedding, yes, the old beliefs, that goes without saying. However, there's a deeper component to it, and that's shedding the emotions, the emotional baggage that you've been carrying around. It's infallible every single time. Somebody new comes into my coaching, is just the problem is always the same. You've been carrying around grief, sadness, unforgiveness, anger, resentment, you name it, all these heavy duty emotions, okay? Fears, really, really deep rooted fears, obviously. And of course, that goes without saying as well. You need to part with that heavy duty energy that right now is kind of like piled up. Just you've been a hoarder of emotions that do not fucking serve you. And I teach energy work in my coaching. And if you can just imagine, right, your mind, subconscious mind, conscious mind, let's not get carried away, but basically your mind, right? You right now, the way that you're operating, from which timeline, just want to kind of like illustrate that for you. You right now live in an environment, in a room full of fucking garbage that stinks. That's just the only, I want to gross you out, and I'm so sorry, but I really want you to get this image of this cannot continue. If I'm not getting the results, it's because it's the kind of energy that's coming off of my own emotions. This is how I'm stuck in that timeline where nothing works. Okay? Energetically, you're negating what you actually want. In that sense, it doesn't make you a bad person, okay, unless you've done something bad by somebody, in which case there's always chances to turn it all around, ask for forgiveness, etc., etc. But you've done nothing wrong if just all you've done unconsciously, or nobody told you, that you really need to process your emotions. And this is a huge bulk of the work that I do with my clients and my coaching off YouTube. I've been a coach for 7 years, on YouTube now 3. My predecessor channel that guy hijacked by haters had some 22,000 subscribers. Go check it out. It's linked below. That channel was created with so much love, as was this. This has another quality of energy, though. I meditated on it. I did energy work on it myself. But basically, this channel is only, I want to say, a month and a half, maybe 2 months now old. So there's a plethora of my work there. Please get to know me. I'm very, very straightforward. Never will I ever disrespect you. But I think chances are you are like on your 11th coach, okay? And you simply cannot afford more lies being fed to you. I'd rather be very straightforward, very elegant, very, nurturing and caring, but very straightforward, like where the root of the problem lies. So in that sense, be ready to come into my coaching when you're actually ready to look at the truth, to look at yourself with deep honesty. And I'm not saying that it's an easy thing to do. It really isn't, because, it's so much easier to say, well, somebody else is in charge, or this is because of this. Yeah, certain people may have done a truckload of bullshit to you, and I completely understand how hard that is. Believe me, I fucking do. I just had my own ordeal with the haters. And believe me, on the other side, if you choose to process everything the way that I teach in my coaching, if you truly revise your past, not like it never happened, but let's give it a different spin. How does this benefit me? You will then derive the golden nuggets out of your story, Yes, out of even your so-called horrible story. If you get to know me, and big thumbs up and big subscribe for this channel is new, and you will learn so much on this channel because I channel. Okay, in addition to having been a coach for so long and studied metaphysics and all this jazz, I'm also a channel. I would rather tell you exactly where the problem lies. You really can't afford spending any more money, spending any more time, and then get to work on it. Okay, so again, first we cover your history. Please be honest. It's just going to help me do my job. Everything is confidential. It's in the coaching agreement you're going to have to sign unless you break the law. Okay, in the instance that you break the law, that you become a threat to me or to yourself, this is standard for therapy and coaching alike. So it is very important to come honest if you really want to do this deep dive and no longer seek for instant gratifications. They do not exist unless you're really ready, again, to take responsibility for your creations. Only then you have the freedom of creating new ones. So that's what I do, shedding the old self, getting on the train of I take responsibility. How can I transform it? How can I derive the golden nuggets? And on I go into the new motherfucking timeline of my life, the golden Buddha timeline, the one that I've always supposed to have been living out, my fairy tale. Okay, and the golden Buddha is not to kind of, make fun or disrespect the religion, not at all. It's just a symbol I gave in the channeled mode once upon a time on this channel, or on my previous channel, actually. And it represents the most pristine version of you, that underneath it all, you're a fucking superstar. You really just are. I really mean it. I really want you to understand. Unless you are, one of these people who are toxic and narcissistic and really malicious and malignant, you are a fucking superstar. I mean, even the narcissist is a fucking superstar. They just don't understand how to operate from that frequency, the very low vibrational. But you are a superstar. And I deal a lot with people pleasers who just need to reinvent themselves again, reconsider, like really look at themselves for who they really are, not what they've been taught by, again, their mama drama panorama, their mother, their father, the this and the other. Okay, if you want to be in my coaching, I would hurry up and book me, because during the holidays, I get booked up quite a bit, okay, for obvious reasons. People get very, emotional around, and not that I'm a therapist, so just want to set the expectation, I'm a coach. But to be in my coaching, you need to first book a 1-hour session. We just simply make sure it's a good resonance, that we understand each other. You certainly made yourself familiar with my material. And before, even for this session, you need to, once you book, you need to sign the coaching agreement. The community post will let you know all the steps to go through, how to send it to me, etc. It has to be a scanned document. And upon conclusion of that session, you need to be ready to rock and roll, to book what's called a signature coaching package, of which I recommend 2 to 3 months in. And you can pay with installments. There's a link for that as well. It's recommended that you purchase more than 1 month together for a better deal for your installment payment. But essentially, in either scenario, you need to be able to rock and roll, simply because, okay, drum roll, I'm one person, okay? I can only handle that many people at the same time in a responsible manner, towards you, towards myself. In other words, I want to do the best possible job that I could possibly do with each and every single individual. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'm so excited to channel this fucking message for you. You have no idea. And I can't take on too many people. So whoever is ready, if you're not, no hard feelings in that sense. I just have to take on, the person who's ready. Okay. So just be ready to rock and roll. Again, just cannot, emphasize that enough, just to set the expectation right. Additionally, very quickly, and I know this is a little bit long, but I wanted to say everything for the newcomers. This channel is new. There's a new package called Unfuck Your Life in 30 Days. Please go see the video specifically that I recorded for that package. It will tell you all about it, okay? It's brand new. I think it will help somebody who really needs a lot of support right now. And if you have any questions, please email me. The email is directly below. I mean, I still try to make my intros really entertaining for you guys, so hopefully you don't mind. Okay, the topic of today is how to live your scripted fairy tale life, or how to really have a huge timeline jump. Okay, on any single day you could do that. Oh man, am I overwhelmed right now with joy and with vibration that is unparalleled? Is the understatement of the century. I feel like everybody knows the movie Back to the Future. The older dude, I kept thinking like, what is the older dude's name? The crazy kind of scientist. Like, remember when he peels off the skin of his face? I feel like this. I feel super happy, but I know I quantum leaped, quantum jumped, whatever you want to say, yesterday. And I know exactly how I fucking did it. And I'm going to, in this audio, stick around until the end, really try to explain as much as possible without giving away like all the personal details, how I did it and how you can do it too. Okay. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be like mysterious or omit things or anything like that. It's just some things right now I can't talk about. Okay. So there will be a part two to this story, I'm sure, when I'll be able to disclose like the main situation. Okay. Nevertheless, so I definitely quantum leap, and how I feel so happy, but I feel like when you quantum leap, when you have a huge jump, I've had these jumps before, like right after you feel really tired, okay? It's almost a feeling of like, waking up Christmas morning, like, I don't know, hungover with happiness kind of deal, or maybe actually hungover, but actually, I so don't miss being hungover, by the way. I stopped drinking like almost it'll be 2 years in next February. The best thing I've ever done for my life. Anyway, amongst other things, it just hung over with happiness. Like you've just quantum leap, your body, it just needs to biologically catch up with this high vibration. But that the buildup was in my own personal case, like I'm working on several things right now in my professional life, in my personal life, etc, that the build-ups, like I know exactly when I started it, and I knew exactly that this was going to be huge. And the ask of this hugeness, almost like everything I do in my life, just want to say, just from my own personal, since this is a personal audio, okay, everything I do in life is divinely guided. And what I mean by that is that I know that I'm a channel, okay, not just to channel for you guys, for the advice, in coaching that you get, the advice on this channel, but I also know that my artistry of not just, in fashion, that I do fashion, but the artistry of my world, the artistry of my life is very much inspired and channeled from the universe, from my spirit squad. I would be nowhere without them, you know? And so they definitely I'm guided by them. So when I asked it vibrationally, it almost came out of I don't know that it came out of necessity rather than a certain kind of inspiration. Okay, suddenly this energy was with me. Like it started around September of last year. Okay, let's just put like a timeline. And again, I was really drawn and inspired to start making decisions about the kind of world I want to live in. Okay, I'm going to put it like this. And again, it's going to sound a little bit like I'm omitting things. It's because I am. It's because right now I can't just dive into everything, but it will still be worth your while, as I mentioned. And I know by now how I do it, meaning like everything I teach you guys, I create playlists. I start collecting, like, I'm big on photography. I've always loved that, even like since my modeling days, like photographing other people, photographing buildings. I am huge on architecture. Oh my God, just drooling over it, especially like Parisian, Upper East Side, London architecture. Just, oh, it turns me on, something amazing. So I start collecting artifacts. I start representing to myself like what that frequency feels like. It has to be higher than where I am at that moment, because chances are you want to quantum leap because you're unhappy with something. It's not that entirely you're an unhappy person, but in that area of your life, you need to correct something. Something's coming up for a reason, for you to change, for you to shift. Now you can stay in your fucking misery, but that's how people, refuse in that sense unconsciously to quantum leap, because they refuse to change. They refuse to really learn the lessons in the moment and admit to themselves that, you know what, maybe even the shitty thing right here that happened, it's not against me. It's fucking for me, dude. It's for me. It's so for me. This, in fact, is the universe inspiring me to take that leap, to take that quantum leap, because if I'm uncomfortable over here, it must be that I grew out of this world, right? Because my ideas, like my inspirations, my desires, my ultimate world is someplace fucking else. I've become a different person. Like, I don't fit in these clothes anymore, kind of situation, metaphorically speaking, or maybe even literally. And it's a normal fucking thing to do, because so don't misinterpret perhaps like the situation that you're in right now, whether you don't have your SP, maybe you're in between jobs, maybe you don't have the money, this and that. Like, you're not a bad person. Like, you did not fuck up. Like, I really, I feel like it's necessary for me to keep saying that to people, to the benevolent ones, okay, which I know makes 99% of my audience. Okay, but the cuckoo ones are also drawn to the light. What can I do? It's normal, and it's the kind of reaction they have to it. It's kind of like my light irritates your demons kind of situation. Not for nothing, but the story of my life. It's just what it is. People have different reactions depending on where they are, whether they're benevolent or malicious. So wherever you're finding yourself today, like nothing went wrong in that sense. It's just an opportunity to level up. Like, just see it like that. Just if you start interpreting your entire life that I don't even like the expression up and down. There's ups and downs. No, there's just peaks, and it's like a trajectory of going up, but just once in a while, yeah, it's just a slight dip is all. You're making a big, huge deal out of it. And this is why it seems like a huge fucking crater or whatever. But really, it's just the overall big picture is that you've come a long motherfucking way already to this point. So don't be so fucking down on yourself, okay? So I started the meditations. The meditations for me, listen, when I tell you my vibrational ask was so huge, because I made certain decisions for my own personal and professional life. Like, I want to go to this level. And I started getting to the best of my ability. I'm explaining this to you, possibly humanly, in words, in English words or any kind of words. You know what I mean? I'm explaining it to you. I started to get doing my best to reach for that feeling, for that frequency that I'm engineering in my body, and getting familiar with what that feels like, that world feels like. I talk about it endlessly in the same manner, because, like, literally, as I'm saying it, it doesn't do it justice, but humanly, again, that's the best way I can, like, explain it. You start to date this frequency, okay? You go out on a lunch, you go out on a dinner, on a coffee meeting, and you start getting to know them, what kind of feeling this person, i.e. frequency in this case, okay, gives you. And so before you know it, if you're disciplined and you are deliberate enough, okay, I really like these two words, disciplined and deliberate. Those two words, just remember, discipline and being deliberate and on purpose about it. And even showing up on a sucky day and doing something, like no forcing necessary. You don't need to force yourself, but do something each and every single day incrementally. Like, you might not feel like a superstar every single day, in other words, right? Like, you're gonna have your whatever days, but even on that day, still maintain the relationship. Like, give yourself some kind of taste of whatever it is that you're working on, of that frequency that now represents you most. Okay, in other words, visit it nonstop, but don't force yourself. That's the best way I can explain it. And listen, there's going to be this kind of birthing pains. And I don't even want to like say pains. It's just going to be uncomfortable as well. Why? Because in the process of change, like nobody really likes change. Let's be real. Like if it was up to like just being comfortable and lazy, like that feels more comfortable. That's just like, wow, can we do this all day? Fact is, you would get so fucking bored. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So use this as a gym. This is your gym. You're working out your relationship with that frequency. And in the process, it's working on you. And you will feel some type of way. Shit will come up. Old fears, old emotions, old whatever, old idea. You know, in my case, I just needed to stretch my mind bigger, in particular with magic and miracles. Okay, what does this all represent? What am I going to do here? This and any other. It was part of my things, you know. I mean, very much. Listen, when I started coaching on YouTube, right? My life transformed, changed. Okay. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. And so this was yet another opportunity for me to revamp this. And that was part of the deal. And it was really inspired. But like, because I didn't plan on anything like that, it like, even from my mind, it everything that I wanted to avoid, like not be on camera, for people not to know too many things about me, like I had to reconsider that. I had to make some decisions because, listen, at this point, it's kind of like, you know, the cat's out of the bag. I'm already in public and, you know, kind of had to deal with it. That was an aspect of that. So that for me, not for nothing, I'm a very kind of like private person, but because I do this work, I had a decision to make, like, all right, can I really deal with this? But it's already here. So things like that. So you will adjust in your own ways, but that's just one aspect. I'm not discussing everything in that sense, but it was a big deal for me because, you know, I mean, I fell in love with all of you guys, not for nothing. Met a lot of people who I mean, were really, really inspirational to me in my coaching, you know, and I really was really deeply flattered, like by the caliber of the clients that I met through YouTube. I didn't know what to expect. Let's just put it this way. Okay. I really didn't. And it just was so, I was so pleasantly surprised, shall we say, by not expecting much, like having all of this whole world opened up to me, where I just, frankly, on my old channel, I started recording audios because I wanted, that's the only place I got to be weird, in quotations, you know, kind of like discuss esoteric subjects and my ideas on, you know, what I experienced myself and manifestation, this and that. And then people ask me to talk about as peace. And that's the only place I could do that kind of situation, secretly, not so secretly. And all of a sudden, this world opened up to me. So this everything is kind of inspired. So you'll go through your own transformation to become that new version that accepts something that is really kind of like your destiny. All right. You might not be comfortable yet with something that is ultimately for your own benefit, for your own good, something that you're supposed to have, like your SP, that money, that success, that whatever. You know what I mean? Like name a thing that you were. It's usually across the board. Very rarely that it's not. Like sometimes I get people who are mega successful with work, etc., but it's just the relationship they struggle with. But it's usually across the board. Is, you know, my experience with coaching people. So in the process, you will arrive to your own aha moments, your realizations. And listen, like sitting here today, I just want to say I'm so fucking grateful. It took me a year to arrive to the culmination of yesterday. Just want to make this clear as well. And I know this is like a long buildup, but again, it will be worth your time, believe me, and listen to it more than once. Sometimes even I re-listen to my own tapes and I catch more. So I don't know how that happens, it just does. It took me a year, and I like literally I looked at photos a couple of times during this time, like of realization why everything happened the way that it did, and the genius orchestration that was being made on my behalf all throughout the experience. And again, not discussing everything, but just all the aha moments, and finally relaxing and accepting the new role, the new position, the new feeling, the new frequency, like, yes, this is inevitable. Growth is inevitable. Change is inevitable. I might as well choose the ultimate version, the highest version, the most benevolent version for me. Okay, if I am going to choose things, I mean, it's going to happen. Okay, the universe is like pushing you towards it, pushing for you to change, is making you uncomfortable. The only thing for you to do is like, okay, you might as it's gonna happen, the change is gonna happen, you might as well get on your good side and start deciding what's gonna happen and how. Okay, in other words, what quality of timeline are you going to go to? And this is why it's so important to keep this relationship with the highest frequency you could possibly stomach. At that point, it will rise for you. Like yesterday, I got a rise. Oh my god. Oh my god, it was a mystical experience. It's just I'm still processing it. Like I can only feel it. It's not really explainable. This is why, like I said, your body catches up. It's just like suddenly you're in it. 100%. It's like your battery's charging through the process whilst you're going through, like in my coaching, you're going through your, mama drum panorama, your realizations, your aha moments, and then suddenly it's like click, and you've arrived. And listen, who's to say how long takes what, right? Which is why on average 2 to 3 months, like we really do it in a very intense way in my coaching. But the thing is, sometimes people, they process everything, they kind of re-listen to the sessions, and then they come back like, 6 months later or a year later. And now it's a whole other fucking ball game, because now they've quantum leaped to another timeline. And then from that timeline where they are now, what they sometimes, want is now even higher. I mean, it's not sometimes, it's always even higher. But what I meant to say there is that it's easier. Okay. It's now easier for them to quantum, even easier than it could have been before, obviously. So you're dealing with a whole other ballgame. You're dealing with a whole other situation. You already understand you're not that miserable person anymore. You know how to maintain the relationship. So now you're rocking and rolling. And sometimes people just come back just to tweak just a little bit towards the end, that final kind of like, push moment to be like, okay, now I'm the golden Buddha indeed, that kind of situation. Yeah, that's what I specialize, and I derive so much pleasure in. Seriously, because I know what it feels like. So I really do. It's so extraordinary. So now there will be a moment. Now, for me, again, as I posted on my community board, I really take pride. And I have noticed this since I was 11. Okay, this is going to be a really fucking long audio. Since I was 11, I really noticed I was a really shy kid. I'm still a shy kid, kind of, sort of. Not shy, like not confident, but I like I'm not such an extrovert, actually. Some people might be surprised. I really love what I do, and I do it really well, and I, study and I work a lot, but I'm not that, gregarious, like flamboyant person outside. I just need to be able to be public so I could speak, to people so they could understand and what I'm like explaining. So it might be like that you have the wrong idea of me altogether. Like some people certainly, that I'm some kind of like egomaniac. The very opposite. Sometimes things can come across in a distorted way, especially if you're looking at it in a distorted way from your own prism of beliefs. But anyway, I take great pride in writing. I was always a writer. And how I became a writer is that my mother, first of all, she never did my homework with me. And I really wished for a better life. I wasn't happy, and I started writing scenarios about a happier life. My parents were always arguing because my mom would scream all the fucking time. You know how it is with a narcissist. I know you do, because I've coached some of you with a very, like an identical situation. It's not for nothing. It's just so screwy what they do to people. And I started, but because of that, I would be in my room writing about, fairy tales, stories I want to live out. And I noticed that some of the elements started coming true. And it's just, I believe in scripting, but I believe in it where you really just get to suspend your disbelief so much and it will vary. And of course, at this stage of the game, whether you're 40 and beyond, or maybe you're in your 30s, or maybe you're in your 20s, but whatever, something might have happened that, well, derailed you and delayed you, I should say, quite a bit because of the mama drama panorama. But when you're starting out as a child, I think it's a little bit easier. And thankfully, I get so inspired by so many different examples, of which I'm not going to, make this ultra long, so I'm not going to mention, that I know script. If you script in a certain way, which I teach in my coaching, and you apply energy work, like magic will happen. So I'm going to describe how I, now that I've set this up to the moon and back, if anybody ever watched, which by the way is a really brilliant movie, Fracture, with Anthony Hopkins and Ryan Gosling, who's excellent in it. Both of them are, but Ryan in particular, not just because he's cute. Okay, he's actually, I think he's another Marlon Brando. Really, I think he really is. I'm not exaggerating. He might not be choosing all the roles right, but he's actually quite gifted. Fracture is the name of the movie, and in that movie, Anthony Hopkins is an engineer. And if you look at that machine, like how you're going to see it in the movie, that's who you are, but with your emotions. You tweak, like how he tweaks it, how he corrects it in the movie. Like in the very beginning of the movie, you can observe him doing that. So you don't even have to like go very far into the movie. That's what you're doing essentially when you rework your belief system, when you rework your emotional makeup. Okay, you constantly tweaking it, all to get it like 100% from what the vision is, the vision of that story, the kind of vibration it produces. In other words, if I want to be married to my SP, and we've reconciled, and you know what I mean, we're married, we're living in the same house, we're happily ever after married, like it's a far departure from where you are now, right? So you're going to have to take your time to tweak and master this emotion until it sinks in like 100%. So that's what the process really is. It's not necessarily like, let's hurry up and get there. Be genuinely patient with yourself. I think, listen, patience and craftsmanship like literally comes in very heavy duty here. So this is what I would have to say. There's no such thing as an overnight quantum leap. Like, don't fucking dream of it. Be real, be kind to yourself, okay? If you need my help, I would be honored to help you. But the thing is, if you're gonna do it on your own, be fucking patient with yourself. Well, yeah, you have all these other years before where that shit never happened. You're coming off of a lot of shit. So don't you think you owe yourself some grace? You do, in that sense. So don't, you know what I mean? Don't be impatient. If you're not doing it correctly, I mean, yeah, that could delay things too, but I'm, doing my best here on this channel to explain it in the best way without one-on-one, like how to do it on your own, okay? So yeah, big thumbs up and big subscribe. Thank you very much. So part two then of this audio, which I could split it up into audios, but I don't want to. Listen, I want to attract people who literally like to finish things. Okay, so that's in this manner only you will be successful in my coaching. Okay, the people who only watch shorts and instant gratification, my fucking ass, you're gonna have to work at this if you are to keep this, if you are to not bounce from coach to coach. Okay, you're just gonna have to do it one time but correctly. All right. So identical day creation, and again, I do it over and over, in particular when it's a busy day for me and I can't really afford any wiggle room of something, being late or delayed, or, you know what I mean? This kind of situation. I want everything to go according to plan. I need to get my shit done. I'm very much like a focused machine like this. That's my personality. I'm a coach, in that sense. I think I was born to coach, like not to brag or anything. I'm just like kind of very methodical and very kind of goal oriented. And that's what I teach, my clients to do. But essentially, I rehearsed that day. I knew it was coming up. There were certain meetings that I had planned, as well as there were certain personal errands that I wanted to squeeze the fuck in, because I've been busy. Okay, I've been busy, and I live on Upper East Side. And please don't stalk me. parenthesis here, please. It's not a good idea. Okay, we have cameras. It's please like for that like 0.0001% of the crazy, haters and stalkers. This is don't do it. Don't do it. We have security here. Okay, we do like literal people. Okay, like I know you've been looking me up and all this, but I know everything. Don't worry about it. But it's going to be like the worst idea possible to stalk me physically. Like you don't want to do that. People tried in the past. One of them was my ex-husband. Didn't end well. He ended up arrested and in jail. Okay. In fact, like I want to take the opportunity to warn the haters now. Like, listen, you've done your damage. Okay, you had your fucking fun. It's over now. Okay, you're done causing harm to me. And please, anybody who's even remotely thinking about doing something against me, causing me harm, trying to interfere with my business, doing anything like that, let me tell you right now, just do yourself a favor and spare yourself lifelong consequences. It's just not a smart thing to do, no matter who it is, whether that's me or somebody else. It's the dumbest shit to do to harm somebody. It's all going to come back to you. You just don't understand who you're dealing with yet, I think. I'm very divinely protected. I don't know how else to say it to you, okay? Not only telepathically do I get downloads, but I'm smart. I'm very I've been around the block. I've dealt with these situations before. You're not going to outsmart me. Don't dream of it in that sense. It's not going to be worth it for you. People have tried in the past and I hate to say it, but ruined their lives, okay? So in that sense, don't do it to yourself. Everything always comes out. The truth always comes out. For your little fucking shit fun, not worth it. Right? Just move on with your life. Do something else. Like, how about invest in yourself for a change? Sorry, but I know they're still listening to me, and it's just so unfortunate. And I have to really, I really wanted to address that. So back to the audio. I live on the Upper East Side. I never thought it would come to this. This is so weird. I just thought I was my little old me with my ideas. These people made me a fucking superstar. Not for nothing. Not that I ever wanted one to be. Please don't get the wrong idea. It's like the obsession is on another level. I'm flattered, but it's kind of creepy at the same time. So I live on the Upper East Side, and it's if you're familiar with New York at all, or if you happen to be a New Yorker, it's a trip. Like, let's just say you want to go downtown. It's a fucking trip, all right? It's not every day you get to do it. There's fucking traffic, this and that, la, la, la. And then, so it was rush hour. Hold on, let me back up. So there were a couple of things I really needed to get done, okay? And I rehearsed this day, like I said, for 3 days straight. And I wrote everything out that I wanted to get done. Other than the meetings that were really important in the morning, I really, and they were in Midtown, right? They were really important. It was really important that like I was in and out really quick, pa pa pa, get shit done, get out. And I didn't start, like I did my whole situation in the morning, whatever I had to do. My day didn't start like until 10, the first meeting, etc., something around there. And I had, that was, the window I had basically. And then I had to go downtown for another couple of meetings. Okay. And then on the way, pick up this fucking product, okay, that I use. And I don't want to say it. It's sold out everywhere. I don't want somebody to hear and like buy it somewhere. I'm constantly hunting after this makeup that I use. And again, don't want to say which one it is because if it's a sold out situation, it's discontinued and only one store, I hunted it down in Manhattan had it. It was downtown. Again, not saying where. I'm territorial. Listen, I'll fight you for my makeup. You know how it is, ladies. You know what I mean? It's like the shade of the makeup, it just has to be right. Like it just has to be right. If you find this like, right shade in the right consistency, right combination, like it's like a drug, you know what I mean? You have to have it. So I hunted down a store that had like the last 10 of these makeups things. I know it's so weird that I'm being so territorial with the makeup, but you won't believe, like, my skin is super sensitive, so I really need to, like, when it works, it fucking works. Again, I think ladies will understand what I mean. So I hunted it down, and I was really afraid that they were going to sell out because I was busy and I couldn't go down there. And by some fucking miracle, it just so happened that they had all 10 of them. And they would not accept payment over the phone because whatever, whatever. It's one of those little, boutique shops in downtown, that kind of jazz. Buy some mirror. And I asked my angels, I'm like, please, I don't want to keep looking for this fucking makeup. Let's just, get this done. Please hold that makeup for me. Like, they don't want to hold it for me. But so I picked up the fucking makeup, which was out of the way. And it was exactly, again, everything that I rehearsed down to looking down. And I don't know how, but I even predicted the color of the bag that would be the makeup in, like that shed. I had no way of predicting. I knew it was going to be black. Now you could say, well, that's just such an easy color. Yeah, but it could have been red. It could have been white. It could have been green. It could have been whatever, it was black. It was exactly the shape that I thought it would be. And they also gave me a sample that was kind of like these golden orangey, some kind of a cream that in my visualization, when I was rehearsing this day, I picked up on. I didn't place it there. I just picked up on it. So you see how everything that I'm explaining to you guys, it's kind of like a deja vu of a movie already playing, right? So you show up with some ideas to the table and you go, okay, universe, spiritual squad, whatever you want to say, I need to get this, and this done. All right. This is the objective. All right. So, and this is how I want it to go, meaning I want to get everything done. I don't want there to be any delay. And then you open yourself up to the universal guidance. You never start deciding how this, I mean, the how is going to be too fucking difficult to figure out any fucking way. The how everything aligned. Okay, I had certain items on my list for that day and I'm going to continue discussing them in just a moment, that like I could have gone a day prior, and I was so impatient because, not impatient, but like really wanting to go, but it just couldn't. My day did not line up. But on that day, everything like that, the weather lined up. It was beautiful weather, not for nothing. It's important. I had a beautiful walk downtown, took a bunch of photos. Oh my God, just really mind blowing. Lots of synchronicities, lots of signs. Oh, signs galore. First of all, parenthesis here, signs everywhere I looked, there were triple digits around me. And I saw a tree. Oh, that's a whole other audio I have to dedicate to this. There was this, oh my God, this is how I know my maternal grandma is on my spirit squad, arranging everything in my favor. This is how I knew when I saw that fucking tree, and I'm going to tell you what it is, okay? But because there's a story around it, side note here really quick, but really, really fucking powerful and important, because I promised myself I was going to squeeze this in this audio somehow. I don't know how. It's a tree that like I haven't seen since my childhood. I haven't seen it in so many years. I'm just afraid to even think how many years. Very, very long time. Okay, over 2 decades. I haven't seen it since like I've been to Siberia. Essentially, there's this tree. In English, they call it mountain ash. I feel like the name is kind of so strange. In Russian, it's called ribina with an R. And it's just this beautiful tree. And, if you look it up, you'll see it's like this beautiful green tree in the fall time with these like bright orange berry constellation things, hanging off of it. It's the most gorgeous thing. It's one of the most gorgeous trees that you'll ever see. And my grandma had these trees in her, in the yard. As soon as you would drive up to her house, she had like a row of those, and that's like my grandma. My grandma showed up. I stood there, like I took a bunch of photos, and I just stood there like I didn't know whether to cry or to laugh, or I just stood there in this fucking belief, like in the middle of fucking New York, this tree that like it really is a Russian tree. Okay, I don't know the origins. I haven't done my research, but it's known for being from Russia, kind of deal. Like it's one of the maybe Canada also. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, didn't do my research, but it was like I haven't seen that tree in a couple of decades at least. So there were so many different signs along the way. It was as if the universe was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was talking to me galore. And then I haven't even begun to describe my morning walk because that's just too personal and I'm going to cover it in another audio. Oh my goodness. That's a whole other thing. And that's for later. Okay? Because that's really how it started out. The momentum that I knew this day was the day that I was waiting for to quantum leap. But again, I'm going to save it for later. But that's how it began. The signs, the synchronicities, just like just overwhelmed, like one thing after another. Confirmation, like on billboards, like literal, like I mean, imagine the signs that you get in a year's time. Like that was yesterday for me. Like literally. Like everywhere I looked, everywhere I kind of turned around, there was a sign for me, either in words or in numbers, in sequence of numbers. Somebody screamed out my name, hi Anna, hi Anna. And I was like, what? Who knows me? And it was just, they were talking to somebody else, people on the phone giving me answers. Like, you know, when you overhear sometimes somebody on the phone that they're talking to somebody else, and suddenly they give you the answer to your situation, or or like the answer to your question, the answer to your dilemma. It was fucking manifestation on steroids. I was like, holy shit, bananas. And I'm like thinking to myself in my mind, don't worry, angels, you know, my spiritual squad, just keep it coming. Like I was overwhelmed. Like I felt this energy descend on me of some kind of otherworldly. Like it was not funny anymore. It was literally like the Matrix. Now, again, I've had so many different experiences with this that it did not freak me out, but it was really intense. It was really fucking intense in that, like, I felt like the entire fabric, like, it's exactly basically what I discuss on my channel and talk about it, but it was on steroids. You know, like, the entire fabric of my 360 bubble was talking to me and just celebrating with me. And it was crazy. It was just absolutely so all my meetings went exactly the way that I imagined them. My run to the lovely store with the makeup, exactly as I imagined it. Picked up an extra thing that, you know, I picked up in my connection, the telepathic connection, when I was rehearsing this day. And again, cannot be a chore, parenthesis here. Okay. The other thing I really wanted to do was go to the Union Square Farmers Market, which, again, if you're familiar with New York, it's a heavenly place. I mean, oh my God, it's such high vibes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. All of this amazing food grown right and such beautiful colors. Oh my God. I almost passed out of happiness there. Like literally something happened to me, like, you know, for an empath to be around such good high vibes of these like beautiful carrots, the multicolored carrots, and this cauliflower that in the shape of, I don't fucking know, like deep mint green pikes. I'm gonna show you the pictures, I'm gonna post them. I was in heaven, you guys. But see, I rehearsed that. I really wanted to go there. I've been there before. It's not like it was, you know, my first time. I've been there many times before, but I haven't been there in years again. And I really just wanted to reconnect, like, with that frequency, you know, how I know how high vibe all of that is. And again, when I was rehearsing my day, I had this, you know, vision of me standing in the middle of the farmer's market and going like, being mind blown and going like, holy shit, bananas, this vibe is so high. I can literally levitate right now. You know what I mean? Like that. And again, just to back up a little bit, it's all for me personally. as a creative person, and as well as just, I think music, you don't have to be creative for music to be relatable to you. It's just vibration. Music is vibration. It always starts with me, with a song, with a playlist that I'll put together that makes me feel some type of way. And so for that particular day, I used a couple of songs, but there was one song in particular that I kept playing over and over. That's just what works for me really beautifully and really precisely, with precision that is crazy, even for me. Okay, it's just crazy how it happened. It literally replicated the feeling, what I was seeing, in which direction I was standing, facing what, and the feeling. And here's the kicker, right? Because the universe always trumps your expectations above and beyond. What can I say, guys? It was what I imagined and more. That feeling of complete, like, again, you could fly. You're really merging with that world of this is where I actually belong. So, side note here, it's kind of like, in coaching as well, and just in general in life, it's just really relearning what that's like to feel that golden Buddha. That's the frequency of passion, of love, of just how to choose happiness and be happy on purpose. Like, what makes you happy? Like, again, in my case, I share very kind of generously information about my personal likes, the carrot cake, I'm a vegan. Sorry, I'm a pescatarian, really. Really is what it is, but vegan. Okay, can't really do dairy and all this kind of shit. Vegan, vegetarian, but and slash pescatarian. I don't know. It's complicated. But you get it. In other words, veggies make me happy. Okay, we could have said this like this. Okay. Veggies make me I know to some people it's the most boring shit. For me, I seek out like the highest quality of veggies. When I find them, it's over. Okay, I love radicchio. Some of you, may know what that is. There's certain places for me, again, architecture, all of that. But it really thrills me to such a degree that I can literally start levitating if I start getting engaged with this. And that's what I teach, especially in the morning, like when you have your gratitude list, when you have your go-to things, your go-to songs, your architecture, whatever it is you're into, all right? Your passions. Really on any fucking sucky day that could lift you out of bed and give you a meaning to live. And if you don't know what it is right now, it usually is something that you would do even if you wouldn't get paid, or you would just do period all day long. It's something that fishes you out. Okay. And by the way, if you can do something all day long without getting paid, you will get paid for it. It's just the thing that you really truly authentically enjoy and that you naturally gravitate towards. And perhaps you have lost faith in it. Okay. Perhaps you haven't wholeheartedly invited happiness because you told yourself, it's for some people, I don't know what, maybe they're lucky, maybe this, maybe that. But it's very much for you too. So this reconnection again to the things that you naturally, like almost instantly, like there's no work involved, all right, in feeling happy when you fill in the blanks. There's no effort to feel happy when I eat Find that shit for yourself. Find those things and fucking stick to that. This will be enormously transformative for you. And you go, it's like going to church, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, whatever you want to, the routine, whatever you want to call it. It has to be like that type of discipline where this is my church now. This is my religion of being happy, the religion of being happy. I've already seen what the shed show world has for me. I've outgrown that shed show world. It's time to now be creative. And now to start choosing elements that I want to invite into my life that will far outweigh all this other mama drama panorama all this time before. And I will be magnificent and successful and victorious in my creation because I will have invested in myself. Not in my fears, not in the mama drama panorama, but in myself, you see, in how I feel, what I need, not in a narcissistic sense, fucking somebody over. No, actually filling my cup. So it runneth over and I can be of benefit to the world. Okay, that I could be the most authentic shape of myself, contributing to society, being that light, being that high vibration. And when you're in high vibration, you just see the world like fucking differently, man. It's the problems, they evaporate. The solutions, they come out of the fucking ground. This is your religion. Or it should be in that sense, if you want to quantum leap like crazy. And then there were a couple of things where I was waiting on, I'm always working, on some projects, obviously outside magic and miracles, and on projects related to magic and miracles, obviously, and of course always thinking of new things. But there was something I was working on for months now, and I wanted, again, part of my orchestration and rehearsal was that on that day, yesterday, I will hear from the client, and it's a go. They have everything they need, and the agreed upon funds are being transferred. That confirmation, it's a done deal. We're celebrating, kind of situation. And okay, that I would get it. See how, come on, you're God. You're the God of your you're the God of your relationship, yeah. Because you created, but you're the God of your reality. Oh my fucking God. I orchestrated it so, and I rehearsed it, that whilst being in Union Square's farmers market, that would be the moment I would get that email, and I fucking did. I fucking did. Okay, I did. And this euphoria, I forgot to mention. I mean, the farmer's market alone was fucking mind blowing. Don't get me wrong. Like that alone, picking up the makeup, finally having that fucking headache of, not for nothing, again, really important. The ladies will support me in that, I'm sure. For those of you who like makeup, that is, maybe you don't, and that's perfectly fine. I just have to like makeup. As perfect people that they think that I am, my skin is not perfect. It's constantly a work in progress, and I'm very much aware of that. But I also got the email. How you like me now? And it's like this sense of completion, like holy shit bananas. All the things are being lined up. All the things are falling into motherfucking place. And again, in my rehearsal, I meditate with my eyes open. I think I made that clear before. I don't know, that's, everybody does it their own way. If you close your eyes, that whatever works for you. But for me, I did it with my eyes open. That's a lot easier. I get to connect to that reality a lot easier with a telepathic connection. And in my rehearsal, I felt that feeling. I saw my phone, I saw the email. It was literally like watching a fucking movie. Again, I brought the what, and the universe combined the what with the how and gave me the fucking movie. There, I just gave it to you. The whole fucking audio in the sentence. But for the human mind, there needs to be a build up to kind of, pick it apart and put it back together. Oh my God. I know you guys enjoy my long audios. It's not like I don't know it, but anyway, I have more notes, but I'm going to have to save some notes for later. Don't you know? My problem has never been lack of material. Anyway, so I want to say something, right? It's not just visualization. It's just really immersing yourself in that feeling, in that world. Like you're not an observer, right? You really are in it. You're not just watching the movie. You're in it. Not just watching yourself, right? That everybody understands that's not the way to go, right? Or at least you should. But you're not just observing around you this visualization, but you really are engaged emotionally, is what I mean. Like you really allow yourself to be engaged emotionally to the peak, like amp it up to the highest level that you can. Work yourself up to it, but amp it up. And if and when the doubts and the do and the negative talk and the fears come in, it's just going to be like this. Ready? What do I prefer here? The shit show and the piled up garbage in the living room, or do I prefer a pristine, beautiful, magical fairy tale like living room, beautiful, full of beautiful guests with champagne and caviar for those who drink, and for those who don't drink, with, I don't know, some really fabulous tea. It becomes about the quality of experience. Like you already know what the fear is trying to sell you. Some kind of bullshit, bogus lie that isn't fucking true. It's like a toxic person, just spewing lies and like you have nothing better to do. Like literally treat your fears and doubts like that. Like you have nothing better to do right now than to sell me this bogus lie. Oh my fucking God, I feel so sorry for you kind of situation. It becomes about that. Like, yes, it's normal and natural that on their way out, especially when you're quantum leaping, especially when you're leveling up, again, as I said, some unprocessed something will come up. And depending, right, on how much work you need to do, right, I mean, the work will be cut out for you depending on how much work has been done, hasn't been done. It just will depend. Okay. But the idea is like, don't let it, like, you can witness a fear come to you just like energetically, right? You can witness an energy like try to approach you. You can very gently, for yourself, for your own sake, observe it and say, no, thank you. You don't belong. I'm going elsewhere. I have to be very selective. I have to be the Modigliani of my life. And if I'm so, again, determined and disciplined, okay, and purposeful, I've got bigger plans than this fucking bullshit you're trying to talk me into. For whose sake? You seem fucking miserable yourself since you're trying to sell me this bullshit. I swear, this just came up as channeled. This is really good. This is a really good way to disarm your fears. Like you seem miserable yourself. Why the fuck you trying to drag me in? Which is what the toxic person does. They're miserable. They're trying to drag you down to their level. No, thank you. No, thank you. I have bigger plans for myself. I'm aware. At least I'm aware of the idea. You could say to yourself, depending where you are right now, tonight, or whatever time it happens to be, wherever you are in the world. I've better shit to do. This life is not forever, okay? A huge reminder was to me that that's the other thing that came up in this really powerful, energetic shift for me that happened yesterday. I realized it's been 9 years since my maternal grandma was gone. She died in October sometime, and I refuse to look at the date because I don't want to, you know what I mean? I don't want to upset myself all over again. I know it was towards the end of October, and it was kind of an anniversary, and she's been on my mind more than ever in the last few. I mean, I always think about her. It's not that, but even more so, like I can feel her fucking presence. It's something. I'm gonna get teary-eyed now. It's it's something amazing. She shows up everywhere through signs, through the trees and the flowers, like sunflowers. Again, it's something that she would grow, and like tomatoes. Like yesterday, I picked up from the farmer's market the heirloom tomatoes. Like that's exactly what she would grow. Like she's every fucking where. And I realized, that's another reminder. Like this physical dream, whatever the fuck you want to call it, the experience, it's not forever. Who the fuck has time on drama? You know what I'm saying? Life is not forever. You gotta really squeeze every ounce of, happiness out of it and look for it deliberately like a hunting dog. That's what quantum leaps are all about. It's way too expensive to go the route of fears. It's just a never ending road, you see. And they don't even fucking know where they're going. It just doesn't exist. You're going to be happy if you're going to stay where you are, do nothing about it, dwell on it, not forgive, not move on. Do you know what I mean? Like, today is the day of your salvation. I really love that quote from the Bible, amongst other things. I'm not religious. Please don't get the wrong idea, okay? But I really love some ideas from the Bible, certain expressions, because they really illustrate really beautifully, like what it actually means to quantum leap. Like today is the day. Do you have another day? Do you have anything better to do? You know what I'm saying? Like today is the motherfucking day. Like get off your fucking ass already. Like they couldn't write that in the Bible, but they said today is the day of your salvation. Okay, daughter or son, that kind of situation. So reaching for that super high frequency, yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna have to be ready that you're reaching for new heights. The fears are coming in, and let that be their last hurrah. and be so committed to your vision that it just, again, it depends on what kind of quality of experiences you want to have going forward. Is this the same shit show that you've been living out like time and time and time and time again? Like, enough of that fucking I've seen that show, I've read that fucking book, like, no fucking thank you, you know what I mean? Like, no more, no more of the rerun episodes. We need to construct a new movie, a new fucking episode where it all falls into place for you. Boom, 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 boom. Where it's like your days go identical. Okay, the other thing, okay, really quick. On the super high frequency, that's the only place that's possible. But the other thing I really wanted, and this is not a small thing, I'm not exaggerating. I never exaggerate things. Okay. Some people have said that I exaggerate things. Like, I think it's really sad that some people would think that. I think that for themselves, they don't see it. So that's why they say it's exaggerated. It isn't. It really isn't. If you feel that way, I feel sorry for you. I really do. Just really benevolently, I do. It's not a reason to say that somebody's a liar, okay? It really, just because it hasn't happened to you, like, it doesn't mean that somebody's a liar, okay? Anyway, another thing that was really important for me, that's something that I again plugged in and was rehearsing, is that I would get this big idea, okay, about something that I really want to experiment with for magic and miracles. In particular, I requested, okay, universe, give me this idea. And listen, you can ask for ideas. This is where, again, I want you to know, it's kind of like, again, what Jesus said. Again, not that I'm religious, but this is what's showing up from channeling. Jesus said, you can do all these things and more. Okay, I'm telling you exactly the same thing. I'm not fucking special. I'm just like, I know from my own experience how this works. You can ask for ideas. You yourself are a channeler of your reality. You can ask for ideas for your business, for solution. You can just throw it in, like, you're writing a letter to Santa Claus or to something, or to the genie, and they will drop it in your mind. You don't have to lie. You don't have to steal. You don't have to cheat. Like, the universe is so fucking abundant. Like, it mega blows my mind. I mean, it really blows my, especially as a creative person, it blows my motherfucking mind every single time. Like, my problem is never lack of ideas. In fact, I get overwhelmed with them. But in this particular example, excuse me, I wanted a very specific idea around certain requests, if you will. Like, let's think up something. Like, I wasn't exactly sure what it was going to be, obviously, because I'm requesting an idea. But I wanted it to cover certain aspects, shall we say. And I'm not going to say what the idea is, all right? Don't you know? People are listening. But I think it's the most fucking genius thing. I have the idea. It is fucking genius, okay? Even for me, who doesn't understand technology, it's fucking genius. And no, I don't want to partner up with anybody. I'll do it myself. But now, but now, I have my research to do, right? So how do I like make that happen? I think it would be mind-blowingly genius, and it's so elegant. It's so simple. It just drops into your mind. It will come to you in sleep. It will come to you as again, somebody will pass by talking on the phone to somebody. They will blurt out the answer, even though they're not directly talking to you. You will see a billboard. It's so many ways that the universe is talking to you. But for me, with ideas, for me personally, as a creative person, or just not a creative person, but just personally for me, is what I meant to say. They always come in thought forms. Sometimes they literally tell me, like, I can hear my spirit squad, like, when they really want me to hear verbatim what they have to say, like, they will tell me words, and then I hear words, and it comes through like it could also almost be mistaken for my own thoughts, but I know what it sounds like. It's a really gentle voice, like very angelic, non-insistent, like, well, what do you think about that? Well, how about that? And wouldn't it be beautiful if, and tupa tupa tu, like that. They're like, this is why you have to give them a chance to be heard, in the morning specifically, before you go into the world, instead of being bombarded by it, you already have your anchor. You already have your ideas. You know what I mean? Like, you're already centered. You allow for the channeling to pour through you. Again, you're very much a channeler of your own reality. Everything will just come. Everything will just come. This is why you need to have the morning routine. And if you'll ever come into my coaching, we can discuss that. Everybody's individual. I always treat every single person in my coaching as a Rolls Royce. In other words, you're custom made. Okay, a custom made Rolls Royce, for clarity, okay? Because the bespoke work they do on Rolls Royces, check it out just for your own kind of inspiration. The kind of work that goes into a Rolls Royce, the hand stitching and the hand painting. Oh my God, it's fucking mind blowing. Go check it out. Like I said, they take it to another motherfucking level. That's why I charge what I charge, and it's not even close to what I really should be charging. But I want to make it manageable, and for as many people as possible, obviously, all the while feeling good about what I'm getting paid. I mean, it's important. I encourage people to do the same thing for themselves. So to go back to the quantum leap, then, so that idea got taken care of. So everything was accomplished, in other words, all right? Down to the rest of the day, I had a couple of more meetings, did the rest of the things that I had to do on my list. Everything got done. But everything got done. It was the most productive day. The energy was so supremely high that I cannot explain. I was It was heaven. It was heaven on planet Earth. And again, everywhere I looked, it was almost like too much. There was a confirmation everywhere. Everywhere I looked, like the entire 24 hours, it's still going. And I requested, excuse me, from my higher self, I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going to get overwhelmed. Let's just keep it. This is the norm. You can do that. You can have these interactions with your higher self, with your spirit squad. Let's keep this the norm. I'm overwhelmed somewhat, a little bit. Okay, so it's okay though. Like, I can get used to this. I can certainly get used to this. All right. But what it reminded me of, and mind you, parenthesis here, every quantum leap you have will top the previous one. I mean, I think it's obvious, is it not? You always want to top yourself. And so I've been working for this and on this. It might seem just like a one day situation, but it's just the culmination. And I think you're an intelligent audience. You get it. It's not about just the day. It's just the ceremony, as it were, of introducing you to finally inducting you into the rock and roll fame Hall of Fame of this timeline. It's like you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll literally transition. Excuse me. You'll time travel like the Back to the Future crazy scientist with your hair, like this. What a great movie that was, though. Wow. It's just spectacular. So ahead of their time. They're just geniuses, you know? And so, so funny. And it reminded me of a moment that happened many years ago in around. So I was in Union Square, by the way, not too far from where Neville lived in Washington Square. For those of you New Yorkers or people who are familiar with New York, it's a stone's throw away. The Washington Square is a beautiful area. The federal federal style townhouses. The pumpkins, can get enough of the motherfucking pumpkins. They're just such beautiful arrangements. Just absolutely blew my mind. Again, it was ecstasy, complete ecstasy. So in the middle of this euphoria, I get this recall. Okay, many years ago, I was definitely in my 20s, okay? So again, at least 20 years ago, something about that 20-year mark, I had this really weird experience, what I recognized as weird back then. I was in a cab, and back then, these really old phones, like the flip phones, the most like ridiculously difficult phones. I remember texting on those. Holy shit, bananas. That was a job. Anyway, and actually, no, not the flip phone. I had the, oh my God, help me, my BlackBerry. BlackBerry that I thought that was so at fucking advanced and all of this fucking shit. Anyway, I had this like situation where I was in a cab and suddenly my BlackBerry, the date and time it showed from that year, whatever that year was, okay? The year that it showed, I calculated it, I would have been in my 40s. Goosebumps galore, right? I would have been in my 40s. Now, it's a couple years off to where, what my age is today. But the thing is, okay, I mean, when you're jumping timelines, it's almost like there's another variation where that happened maybe a couple years earlier, a couple years later. I think you get it. You're, again, an intelligent crowd here. Boy, this is turning into a fucking audiobook, as I knew that it would, but just didn't realize it was going to go on this long. It's okay, though. I think you guys will enjoy it. And so in that moment in the cab, I realized this is something quantum leapy. Like, I didn't have the words back then. I wasn't so into, quantum physics, metaphysics. I was like 25, probably, something like that. And it was actually right before, no, I probably was 24 because it was right before I met my drug addict ex-boyfriend. Anyway, it would have been around now, okay? This kind of time. And I passed by, the reason it came up, and this memory didn't come up until recently. Like, I wasn't thinking about this memory again for a very long time. But I walked by Irving Place, and that's where I precisely remember that moment and where the cab was driving, at which corner. And I was passing by and I was like, oh yeah. And it was like, it was the most weird feeling of like, across time and space, this quantum leap right here that I'm having right now was always going to happen. And I just started downloading that idea. Like, again, it could have been a couple years prior, a couple years earlier, or a couple years later, but this was orchestrated. And this was, and in the kind of like that experience when I was 24, I knew that it was significant. Like, it wasn't just my phone showing some kind of weird date. I knew the feeling I got, the download I got, I knew that it was significant. I knew there was something huge. Okay. And I very much connected to my then 24-year-old self energetically. And I felt even extra like quantum leap kind of energy where it was like, whoa, now my mind is blown to the max. I mean, to the maximum completely. And two things really started happening in my mind, amongst other things, which, as long as this fucking audio is, I wanted to wait until I'm gathered and somewhat kind of like, have my thoughts together. This is why I didn't record it earlier. But also, I'm sure there will be follow-ups to these. This is what I'm inspired to share now. Okay. And I'm very much kind of like, I go with the flow again and I channel and I'm guided. So this is what's inspired now. However long this is what needs to be. Two things happened at the same time, like the realization that this was orchestrated on my behalf, but also with my agreement sometime before. Okay, that feeling, the profound significance of this moment in time, right? The fact that I was connecting energetically to this mystical experience of, this is definitely the biggest quantum leap probably of my life so far. That's the feeling. And the real like essence of realization that everything is happening for me and to my benefit, and how much support I really like. I had a really tight relationship with God slash universe and my angels and my spirit squad up until this experience, that lasted a year. Now it's on another motherfucking level. I thought I was tight with them before. Now I have a whole other relationship with my universe, with my spirit squad. Like I said, it opened up another level, another portal, a whole other frequency for me, a whole other understanding, a whole other tight relationship that it doesn't even cover, really understand so much on so many different levels, and have so much appreciation for the timing, for the amount of work on their behalf that goes in, and how as humans would tend to be so fucking unappreciative of that. And just because we don't see something happening, and something doesn't happen on our timetable, first of all, definitely does not mean it'll never happen. It's just that there's a lot of things that are being orchestrated. I don't know how else to say it. A lot of things that you don't understand, that you don't know about, and you don't fucking need to know about. Okay, how you like me now? You just float above, okay, with your magnificent inspirations and the tools that you use, and the universe will reshuffle everything for you. You don't need to stress, worry so much, okay? I mean, I know it's tempting to relive the mama drama panorama, and that's another thing I work on in my coaching. But really, it's you're driving yourself crazy for nothing. Really, that's what it all comes down to. You know, it's so much better to once and for all understand, hey, listen, everything is for you, everything is being orchestrated on your behalf. You just stay put and do your best to stay in the vibration of this is for me. I'm being supported like 1 zillion%, and everything I want will come true. I'm just going to be flexible here. All right. I'm going to understand that like some transformation is necessary for this to be a productive transformation. Excuse me, some transformation is necessary for this to be a productive quantum leap. Okay. It needs to be that, yes, there is some work, there is some methodology behind it. Okay. There is some orchestration, there is some really detail oriented work. I mean, what, you don't want to do any work and you want a quantum leap? It doesn't fucking exist. Okay. But that everything is being done in support of you, not against you. And therefore, trust, just know. Don't fucking trust. No. Okay, this is for you, for your own benefit. Stop interpreting reality against you. This is when you're going to completely not take any cue from what 3D is temporarily showing you from the old world. You are already committed to something else. So it's normal and natural for your human, mind to go and start freaking out. But if you remind the divine counterpart of yourself, your soul, okay, that, hey, you know what? This is the whole situation on planet Earth. I came over here, I'm playing this role, and I'm achieving mastery through this. And really indulge in this process as much as you can, not treating it as a negative process, but treating it very much of like, oh, how lovely. I'm so fucking grateful that I get to become this higher version of me. I cannot wait. It's like going to school. I mean, Earth is a school. You guys know this. Again, very intelligent audience I have. So you see, like if you start enjoying the process and really taking again the golden nuggets out of it rather than fighting it the whole fucking time, it will blow your motherfucking mind what the universe will deliver. And then the timing of it can be shortened. What I did in the last year, honestly, I don't think people do in decades. Okay, some people certainly not. What I did in 1 year, like literally spiritually, emotionally, I would say in other departments of like, I don't even want to say emotionally, I want to say frequency wise, which obviously is emotion. What I mean to say is that it wasn't that I was so sad or got carried away. It was just that I was tuning to this vibration of this is yet another frontier. So, yes, it is an emotional journey, but like, I remember a similar quantum leap having happened to me 10 years ago, something maybe less. And I remember that jump. This right here is that 1,000 times. Okay, if I was to illustrate. And back then I thought, whoa, that was woof. I went from zero to hero. This, you know what I mean? This is like this, but like 1,000 times. So emotionally, yeah, I had to jump to another motherfucking level, to another timeline, to another version of myself, that like this super duper high frequency is the norm for me. Okay. So I hope that's clear. But the thing is, the other thought that I had, other than the download from everything is kind of related, obviously, we have access to across time and space, how I got connected to my 24 year. It's like the other shady timeline is right there. It's available. Everything is already available. Everything in the invisible is available. Everything coexists in the same room. And you will know. And like, I was thinking about, again, not that I was so unhappy, but I certainly had work to do a year ago or over a year ago. I knew that this was the departure forever, the departure from the old timeline. Like there was almost no choice being given. Again, universe is for the expansion. And, the really trippy thing that I experienced yesterday as well was like this sudden ability, not ability, but because everybody has that ability, including myself, obviously, but the sudden awareness, the really acute awareness of how, if you again tune yourself differently, like with the example that I gave, and go watch that movie, The Fracture, like you'll see this machine, how if you tune yourself to that emotion, like that emotion is right there, that you parted with unforgiveness and anger, etc. It's like it's still available there. You can part with it, but you can also go back to it, kind of situation. In that sense, it never stops existing. And this really acute awareness of like it's right there, but you don't have to be there anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, you outgrow these experiences. You should, to quantum leap, that's what you do. And this acute awareness of this world didn't go anywhere. It's right there. It's available, but I'd rather be over here. It's a choice. It's like this deliberate, really disciplined choice that day by day by day by day, it accumulates, your battery gets charged to the 100%, and voila, superstar, you've arrived, kind of situation. And for me, the way that I would describe it is that each feeling of that reality, which like you can literally switch from one to another and just become aware of one or the other in a split second, it's still right there. It's, how it feels to be left behind. You know what it's like to not receive that affection from your SP. You know what it's like to be in a third party situation. That feels horrible. It's right there. But I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be the priority for my SP. I want them to go gaga for me. I want to experience bliss and euphoria in relationships. I want to be part of that emotional makeup. All right. And this is what I'm going to dominantly and persistently invest in. This is my real, but two are existing like side by side, just like not, again, not even a millimeter away. I had this like, I know I talk about this all the time, and it's so obvious. And again, said it so many times before, but it was just this acute awareness. Oh, it's right here and it's right here. And how I would explain it is the impression you get. It's the feeling, it's the visualization, what's happening and how I feel, right? But it's the impression of the overall tonality of that reality. It's the feeling, yes, but it's like the tonality being impressed by the narrative behind it. Like, what's my story now that I'm here, right? How do I live my life? How is it natural for me to look at the world? Now that I have what I want, how do I view the same set of circumstances that would possibly be triggering in the past? Okay, how do can I walk down the street and look at the world through the eyes of I'm blissfully fucking happy? And then by doing so, bring this reality forward. It's the impression, like you could be, in other words, you're looking at the same fucking thing, right? This in that sense, visualization, like I said, it's not enough. You have to immerse yourself into this world with your feelings, with your emotions. You're looking at, like, you could be looking at the same thing, meaning, let's just say, I don't know, it's your house or your apartment, and whatever, you're watching a movie. You could be watching a movie as somebody blissfully happy, fully content, fully just happy is not understatement of the century. Like, you feel like it's Christmas morning. Just go with the symbolism, okay? No disrespect meant, again, to anybody religious, etc., etc. Or are you watching that movie, again, looking at the same exact thing in the physicality, being miserable and being affected by things because the narrative and the impression, okay, is that you don't have something. The underlying kind of element of emotion, the underlying frequency, the underlying tonality, in other words, all right? This is what needs to change, is that dialogue with the universe that you unmistakably are having, becoming more aware and on purpose tuning to a different dialogue. It's not self-concept. I just want to say, I know it's being regurgitated by coaches left and right. It's not just self-concept. Although obviously you have to have high self-esteem, you have to think nice thoughts about yourself, right? Which you should do anyway, right? Anyway, meaning like it's not just for manifestation, is what I want to say. But it's more than that. It's the overall quality of experience. It's what world am I a part of, where everything goes my way. I trust the universe. I really just, I'm a channeler of frequencies. I have full trust that everything is happening for me. Therefore, even the things that appear to not go my way, I have trust that this too is part of the orchestration. Or am I constantly struggling and finding fault with things, and therefore really don't give myself the opportunity to quantum leap by not looking for things to appreciate right now, not even attempting to be part of that world where everything is given to me on a silver motherfucking platter, and all I have to do is tune in, give some instructions to the universe, be prepared to work on myself and look at myself really honestly, right? If I'm really able to if I'm to do this, I have to do this honestly. You can't lie to the universe in that sense, right? And then allow, and then rehearse, just rehearse, put yourself in that situation, rehearse, and don't stress about it. It will line up, like you will feel the nudge, you will get the confirmation, it will guide you there every fucking step of the way. And what you will get will blow your mind so much, you'll never not trust the universe again. You'll be like, challenge, no problem. I know this is for my own good. I'm so serious. This is my stance and has been my stance for a very long time. On the outside, it might look like a shit show. It might look like a problem. It might look like a challenge. It might look like whatever. But underneath it all, if you are stable like the motherfucking Central Park oak tree, as I say all the time, you're stable. Your faith is stable. Your knowing how this universe works is fucking stable. You don't doubt that you belong. You don't doubt that the universe adores you. You don't doubt that everything happens for your own good if you choose to see it that way. Listen, if you choose to see everything against you, even the shit that was really beautiful, you'll manage to interpret it in some, terrible way. Ever met these people? It's kind of like my mother, you can give her $1,000,000, she'll complain why it's not two or more than two. True story. That these people, right? They'll interpret anything in a negative way. It's so horrible. It's a horrible way to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, it just comes down to this one thing. Are you ready to be happy? Are you ready to quantum leap? Are you ready to choose happiness on purpose? Are you ready to be committed to be happy? Yes, even in the shesho situation that you find yourself in today or may find yourself in. Doesn't have to be entirely a shesho situation, but it's some kind of a situation that doesn't please you. Are you ready to take that quantum leap into the other world by deliberately starting to connect? Because the universe will absolutely amaze and dazzle you, will absolutely overwhelm you. I'm still recovering. I'm going to record more than one audio on this topic because it's in waves. Something absolutely amazing is happening to me, and I'm really, really so grateful. Grateful is the understatement of the century, really, because universe and God, however you want to say it, angels, they're really using me to show you guys in this situation, in this transformative situation of my own, like how to do it. And I'm so fucking grateful for that. Like, really genuinely am, you know what I mean? Like, to show you, like, firsthand, just to by witnessing it. And again, I'll talk more in detail when I'm able to, how to get the result that you need in your situation. Okay. I'm grateful that I get to teach that, because like so many people can benefit from that. So many people can transform their fucking lives and quantum leap for real and on purpose, and really start to like get a taste of how incredibly magical this world really is, And I hope you'll help me out with a title idea for my book. I think I'm going to start finally writing my book. As in, I have elements of it, but to literally like start putting it together. So I welcome all suggestions. I did not expect for this audio to come out like over an hour and a half. But one of the titles, side note here, by one of my clients, if they will hear it, they will have a laugh. They used to tell me, if when you'll write the book, you should title it "When I Was a Model in New York." So funny, because I used to say it all the time on my other channel. But one of the titles, as kind of like a little bit corny as that sounds, but that's just how I think, and really illustrates my personality. How really, kind of like really, I don't know. I have a childlike spirit, which I pride myself on preserving my purity no matter what. I don't know where I get it from, but it's just this commitment to my purity of heart that really pulls me through situations, not allowing yourself to go down to the level of toxicity and all of that low vibrational shit. And I like corny things, that really sound like genuine to me. In my world, they do sound genuine. So one of the titles I really love is "This Magical Universe," or "This Magical World," or "This Magical and Fairy Tale like world." Like, to me, that's totally, it's not an exaggeration at all. It's actually the correct the correct, not misrepresentation, but the correct representation of what should be expected, not like with pressure, but like that's actually reality. You know what I mean? That's not far-fetched at all, at all. This is what everybody, as I always open, like, you belong on that motherfucking golden Buddha timeline. Like, that's not far-fetched. Dreams and goals are not fucking far-fetched. If you're really honest about the kind of like the purity of your desire, that it's not out of any kind of other feeling other than the purity of desire, okay, out of benevolence, in that sense, you should have that. You should have you have that already in that other timeline. Let yourself have that. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten so far, congratulations. You'll excel in my coaching. And maybe not in one sitting, but you fucking did it. So congrats on that. Thank you very much for listening indeed. All the information again from me is below. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.